Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the show. And today we are joined by an incredibly special guest. You guys may know her best as Jen from season 3 of Slasher, as well as the recently starred Lexi in Skymed. We are today joined by Mercedes Morris. Mercedes, how are you?
I'm so well. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
As I kind of told you off camera, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show today, and I cannot wait to get to talk to you about your career.
Ooh, let's dive in. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I mean, I know, obviously, first and foremost, I know how all of the viewers are going to be so desperate to talk about season 3 of Slasher because that's one of everyone's favorite seasons of the show. But I'm going to make you guys wait just a little bit for that because I first would like to know how you first started in acting.
Oh, okay. Well, growing up, I always enjoyed singing. I was always entertaining. I was always putting on shows, very expressive, as you can see right now. And my mother encouraged me to go to an arts high school. And I went initially to pursue musical theater because I loved singing, but I quickly fell in love with acting. And I realized that a lot of the musical theater that I was watching, it was the moments when they were acting where the energy would kind of dip. Like the singing was great and the choreography was awesome, but sometimes like the acting wasn't quite there. So I said to myself, I made a vow that I would strengthen my acting chops so I could become a more well-rounded triple threat. My dreams, my sights were on Broadway. I was so excited. And so I went to a university and college program for theater and drama studies. And pretty much as soon as I graduated, I was just hooked on acting. And, my career has been rolling, it's been growing and elevating since. And so, yeah, like acting, I just fell in love. I still do music sometimes on the side when I can. Like I have 3 singles out on iTunes under Mercedes Morris, so that's like really awesome. And like Spotify, but acting really has my focus. It's my career. It's my dream now. Yeah.
So as
So
as you touched on briefly, did you ever really delve much into stage work or theatre work?
oh yes. So my university program was theater and drama studies. We didn't really do much film and television work. And so I did 4 years of that program, graduated with honors. It was really exciting. But then I got an agent right away in film and television. And I started booking things like within my first year. I booked my first Netflix series as a lead. And that show, that show was called Between. If you have a chance, please check out Between season 2. My character's name is Renee. That was awesome. That was my first time really um, creating a full, well-rounded character for the screen, and I loved it. And a lot of people fell in love with my work from then. So you know, it's like theater gave me a great foundation to be expressive and to be full and to create a character and a backstory and my imagination and be creative. And it was just I'm grateful for all of my theater training. It's just that film and television kind of sucked me up right away when I graduated, and it's been a lovely adventure. So it's where I am. I actually did, Samuel, I did a season at Stratford. That was lovely. That was in 2017. I was in like 3 or 4 shows, had so much fun learning from other theater artists, different directors, different costumes, different, sets. And it was a marvelous world to just have the opportunity, even if it's 1 year, to dive into. So yeah, I love theater. Don't play with me and I'll be on Broadway one day. You could bet your bottom.
Absolutely. That's the thing. So I always ask every guest, right? Because for me, it's always interesting. Everyone wants to know about like the films and the TV shows of that everyone's fans of. But for me, like there is nothing more intimidating than performing live in front of people night after night. I do not know how you do it.
It's, you know, I love the response from the audience. I love
Mm.
when there's a laugh line and you know it's coming, and then you give it and they get, and that roar of the laughter from the audience, you can feel the energy in the room. That is one thing that I truly do miss about theater. And that's why it's not something that I've given up. You
Yeah.
know, it's something that I do plan to continue in the future. I just, Broadway, you know?
No, that's it.
So,
I mean, you have so far to go in your career. Like there is so many opportunities to go more into television and film, and also to do Broadway. You've got such a long horizon ahead of you.
amen. Thank you.
So obviously you talked also about music. So tell us a little bit more about kind of the music that you have released, and maybe if you do have any future plans to release any music.
Well, my mom is from Guyana, and it's in South America, and my dad is from Jamaica. And so growing up, I've really loved, you know, the sounds of the Caribbean, the islands, the vibe, the energy is kind of laid back. But I'm from Toronto, you know, I'm from Scarborough, born and raised. So we have also like an urban energy, hip hop, R&B, soul. And so my music, I love to think of it as a fusion of those two sides of my life, right? It's pretty special because I feel like I first off, I write all my own lyrics.
Oh wow.
That's really awesome. I write all of my own music, and I think some of my musical theater background aids in that, you know, my musicality, but also I've created some of my beats, right? Like I imagine the melodies in my head and I can like, hey, you know, like I like to freestyle and whatnot. And that all comes from that theater, that improv kind of background. And so yeah, the songs all kind of have that fusion. And I'm a very positive person, as you can see.
Yes.
You know, I'm all about confidence and strength, all of those things, determination. So a lot of my music also has an undertone of that, you know, feminine energy, that like strong, that strength, that power, essentially. So yeah, that's why I like to think that my music motivates people, gives them confidence.
That's awesome, and I think, you know, it's funny because when I talk to people as well about music and just the sheer passion, right, that people have for music, I just feel like for some people that is just so embedded in them, and I think for you, that's definitely something I get that vibe from you.
Yes, yes. It's like I'll be walking down the street and I won't even realize, like, I'm listening to my music, that I'm doing like full choreography. There's like cars that start honking. It's almost like a 90s music video, R&B video, when you know,
Yes.
the artist is walking down the street and they're just dancing. I I have a ball all the time because music, expressing myself, dance. Even sometimes I'll be creating monologues and characters. Sometimes I just speak in a different language. I'm just bored for the day. My mother asked me, "Is like, are you okay, Mercedes? Are you all right?" I said, "I'm fine. I'm just in character." You know, I'm an artist.
That's the one. I think that's the key word, right? An artist. I think an all-round artist. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
And a
awesome.
good British accent.
I try.
Okay, so I won't leave a lot of people waiting because I know how people will be ready to.
I
We
know.
have to talk about season 3 of Slasher. As I told you off camera, you absolutely killed that character. Not literally, but you smashed that character as playing Jen. So for you, how when you look back now on playing Jen in season 3, how do you feel about it?
I'm very proud of my work. I'm I'm proud of the fact that Jen was someone that you connected with. You know, she was fun. She was that best,
Mm.
you know, that best friend. She was like, she had like a bit of edge to her, but she was always motivating and encouraging, um, like everyone around her. Essentially, she had this just little like undertone. And what I think I appreciate most is that even at the end, when it's revealed, hello, spoiler alert, that she's the druid, she's actually like literally the mastermind of all of these ideas. When that's revealed, it's like you don't want to like her, but you still kind of like her. You know what I mean? You feel
For
kind of
sure.
bad for her. I think that I'm happy that I was able to find that balance of her being the villain, but still also being a victim,
Yeah.
and you being torn. Like I still kind of like Jen. Do I? Do I know? I like that. I think that's humanity,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
and I think for me in modern day, not just TV shows but horror, is we're missing a lot of major like character development, and I think that's what Slasher season 3 just absolutely nailed, was that we
Yes.
got to learn the backstory of Jen and her family, and that's why I think like the empathy comes from when it's obviously released and she does the the most like horrific things you can imagine, but yet like you
Yeah.
said, you're kind of like, but I still like her.
I still kinda like her, yeah. That was awesome. I'll never forget my time on set. I will never, ever forget that character, especially when there was the turn and I was, like, actually in the druid outfit, the reveal, all of those
Yeah.
moments are so vivid in my mind still because I understood the responsibility. The responsibility placed on me, that the weight that those moments needed to carry. And also, this is a personal thing, but as a Black female in any type of horror or thriller, production, it's so often that we're killed very easily. We're one of the first to go, or kind of misunderstood, or like you said, not enough backstory. They're not
Mhm.
The characters aren't quite fleshed out.
Yes.
And so, like, when I those moments of the reveal, I was like, this is history, Mercedes.
Mm.
You're literally a part of horror history forever, slasher history for life, right? So it was so, so, so important for me to like give my all, dig deep, and like not be afraid, not judge myself. Like, when I came out the elevator, when
Yeah.
I'm bolting down, that my face was just like, ah, like but in that moment, I was Jen.
Mhm.
There was rage. There was, you know what I mean? So I was just so, I don't know, I'm proud of myself, Samuel. I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself.
No, you absolutely should be. So for yourself, when you had the audition for the role and whether you booked the role or maybe even start a filming, did you
Uh-huh.
kind of know the direction it was going to go, or what, or did you kind of find later on?
Okay, so interestingly enough, I have a good intuition. I have a really good intuition. And I went to my callback. We had a chemistry read with a few um pardon me, I'm hearing a little
Uh,
noise here.
le- no, there's no problem at all.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So I remember going to my callback. My mom dropped me very vividly. I remember this. And we had a chemistry read with a few other characters. And our director, Adam, he asked me to try it again, but he wanted me to give it a little bit more bite. That was his word, bite. And it was a simple scene. We were just in the school. I think there was like a bullying scene in the classroom or something, and I was uh Violet. You remember? Is there a name? No, no, no. It wasn't Violet. It was Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I was on with the blonde hair, and she
Mhm.
was, the bully, the school bully.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I had to have a little bit of bite towards her. And in my head, I remember leaving and being like, why did he want to see just that little bit of bite? I got in the car. The first thing I said was, Mom, first off, I booked that. First off, I got it. I know in my heart. But secondly, I think I might be the killer. She's like, what? And I'm just like, something about my energy. I don't know. I'm just feeling it. And I'm like, and then I had a meeting with the director a few weeks later. And it was so funny because I was finishing filming something at the time. So I was a little bit behind on reading some of my scripts. I think I had made it to like episode 6 or 7. And I had my meeting with him, and long story short, he was just like, "So how do you feel about the druid?" Da, 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 da. And at that point, I only knew that my brother
Hmm.
was a druid.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Like, it's interesting. Like, that's a good choice. And he was like, you know, you're the druid, right? And I was like, but I was surprised, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised because I already had that inkling. But I didn't finish reading episode 8. So that was like it was a pleasant surprise for me. I was like, it's time anyways. The whole like duo, half and
Hmm.
half, that was a new thing. I like that. Siblings, POC. I like all of that. So I think slasher has always been, on the edge, on the forefront, opening doors, creating representation, and just, mixing it up. That's what we do on slashers. I'm really excited. Season 5 coming soon.
Season 5, exactly. So was there ever kind of talks between you and your co-stars about who maybe some of your co-stars had different intuitions of who would be the killers, or was there not really like conversation?
it wasn't much it wasn't much conversation, but I think Amber, my stepmother in the show,
Hmm.
I think her character is always creepy. Like, so we were kind of like, she's giving us a real run for our money because she was just so eerie and some,
Yeah, yeah.
outside with the gasoline and stuff. Yeah. So that was a very close second guess for many. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. During the show as well, obviously, Jen and Sadia had such a beautiful relationship.
Hmm.
Well, primarily through most of the shows until towards the end. So what was your and Baraka's relationship kind of off camera? Did you both kind of gel really well?
You know what's so interesting? We had a cast meeting to meet everyone, and Brock and I sat down beside each other, not even really knowing, and we were just chatting it up, and we had such a great time at the dinner, to the point where Ian, our producer, asked if we knew one another because we seemed so familiar with one another. And so yeah, our chemistry from day one. I remember the order that we shot was actually very interesting. We shot some of the things in like episode 7 on our first day, or
Wow.
in our first week. And so the connection, the bond had to be on, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, from the jump, from the beginning, we were very connected. And to this day, like, Baraka and we're cool. You know what's interesting? She visited me. Well, not she didn't visit me, but she visited the set of Skymed.
No
She was
way.
yes,
Wow.
she was assistant directing. She was shadowing one of our directors. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but yeah, it was so lovely to,
That's
reconnect
awesome.
with my girl. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Like I said, for me as a viewer, just a general viewer watching it, obviously your connection with a lot of characters was good, but to me, I felt like I could tell behind the cameras you two got on really well because I just felt your
Yes.
bond there was so on point. It was brilliant.
Yeah, very natural.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was it like in general to work with the whole cast of Slasher?
Well, everyone's awesome. Everyone, like, the casting was incredible.
Yes.
Right? So, but like, when the cameras are rolling, everyone is incredibly talented, so professional. But also when the cameras aren't rolling, everyone's so polite and warm, and we all really got along. What I like about Slasher, or at least that season in particular, was that the age of the characters, there was like a good range. And
Yes.
so there were people in different stages of their career, right? And so it was interesting to, learn from everyone. Everyone had their own different kind of tips and tricks and styles. So it was very, I don't know. It was just like this really great working relationship of sharing, an exchange of
Yeah.
energy and of techniques and of of space and time. So it was really fun working with everyone.
You know, that's it's super interesting you bring that up about the age ranges and the stages of career, because traditionally with slasher horrors or TV shows, generically everyone's give or take like the same age range. So it's
Yeah.
super rare, actually, thinking about it, to have such a diverse age range of people. That's actually really cool. Good way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
So we touched on obviously Jen being one of the killers. Now, a question I have for you, Mercedes,
Mhm.
do you know or remember which murder scenes you committed and which your co-star committed?
Okay. So here's the thing. We actually shared a stunt double, um, for the jury
Yeah,
because it was the easiest way for someone whose build was right in between Connors and I. So it wasn't
of
too
course, yeah.
obvious, right? Um, but I remember, I have some fans who are very, 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 very serious about this. So we've sat down and we've analyzed like which kills at least were, whose
Mhm.
ideas were whose. And some of them have really great clues, like the fact that Jen, she finished her biology exam first, right?
Right.
And then that same teacher ended up being
Ah,
dissected,
yes,
right? So we
yes.
have little through lines like that. Or the in the coffee shop, even though he's burnt with the coffee and Jen and him had a little tit in the morning, it wasn't Jen who was able to commit that because she was at school, but that was recorded, right? So it was my brother
Ah.
recording it because it's like I really wanted to do that one because so you at least record it for me so I could see it later, right? So there, or like the acid
Yeah,
again. She's a
that had to
great
be.
biochem student, and she was picking on my friends. So it's like revenge. It's great. It's awesome. So there's little clues as to who would handle who. Just
Yeah,
you gotta
absolutely.
watch it a little bit.
That's the one.
Maybe I'll turn that
We'll have.
into a game.
That's a good idea. I think what we'll do is we'll have to try and see if the viewers can kind of guess who they think which kill was who. But
Yes.
obviously, the stunt double, as you kind of mentioned, that was something that was always going to happen, right? Because obviously there was such a height difference between you and your co-star. I mean, if
Mhm.
you see the height difference, everyone's gonna be like, ah, well, there's two killers, and then they kind of
Yeah.
put two and two together. So that had to
Yes.
happen.
Exactly. But I love the whole the part where Connor was chasing Jen
Yeah,
and
yes,
she got
outside,
away.
yes.
Ooh, that was a good one. Because I
Yeah.
remember even watching the season with my mom, and she's like, "No, no!" She was like freaking out. She's like, "Oh, I thought he was gonna get you," and I was just like, I had to just keep a straight face. I didn't want to spoil anything, but I love that a lot of people were like, "Yo, you really fooled me when he chased you in the parking lot."
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
that almost writes you off as a possibility, right? So you're like, well, it can't be Jen now, and
Yeah.
then the reveal at the end makes it even more special.
Like, oh, it's so juicy. Yeah. She's such an evil mastermind. I love it.
Yes, she is 100%. So one last question, sort of on slasher. Um, did you ever like? Are you a fan of horror, or did you ever have a desire to do horror before this?
Listen, okay, very serious here. Growing up, my family, we love movies. We used to collect DVDs. We had drawers and like they were like color coded and like alphabetical, like it was crazy. And I had my own drawer of horror films. So I think like some of my favorites were Friday the 13th. I literally
Hmm.
dressed up as Freddy for maybe two Halloweens now, and I even did the fake skin and everything. Um, I love Jason. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love oh man, even like little ones that some people haven't heard of, like trucks. Do you remember that? It
Yes.
was like, when all the cars and the trucks became, they were like, what's the word I'm looking for? Possessed.
Possessed.
They became possessed and they started killing people. It's like I've always loved horror.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was a big dream come true, definitely. Like I've always kind of hoped for that representation.
Yeah.
Watching those things growing up, I never really saw myself. Uh, you know, I remember Brandy being in maybe like a Halloween, or Kelly Rowland, from Destiny's Child. And I always
Yes.
got excited when I saw people who looked like me on screen. I remember really quickly, as a kid growing up, I would always pay such attention to when, uh, in a horror film, when a Black person made it to the end, when they survived. That was like a huge thing for me because I never saw it. So like,
Hmm.
in Sharks, when LL Cool J survives, I think it's Shark or Deep Deep Blue Waters or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. Or there's like an Amityville kind of, or some type of house that's haunted, and there's an actor, a man who makes it to the end. He escapes the house. Yeah, I just always would celebrate those things. So Jen she didn't quite make it to the end, but she made it pretty close. She made
No,
it pretty
that's the
close.
one.
She provided representation, and I think it's awesome. I hope that, more and more young actors, Black actors, can see like, oh my gosh, Mercedes did it, I can do it. And they don't count themselves out before, they've even started the race. If that makes sense.
Right. No, that's exactly it. And I think you are going to become definitely a pioneer for the next sort of generation of not just actors but also directors. I think a lot of people need to really open up the minds and the ideas, right? To not just race, right? It could also be
Yeah.
like religion and gender and
Yes.
I'm looking
Sexuality
forward
and
to that. Yeah.
so much stuff. There's so much stuff. Representation is so important. And I think representation is awesome, but we have to be mindful of how we use it, because we don't want to tokenize anyone too.
Right, right,
um
yeah.
like, if we're going to provide that representation, we do have to provide equality, and be fair, and be open, and be honest, and
Yeah.
actually, strive for real growth, tangible evidence that things are improving, right? It's not like one step forward, one
Absolutely.
step back. So I see that in Slasher. I see that in Skymed. I'm proud to be a part of productions that are constantly just like edging forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, as viewers and fan, it's really nice and refreshing as well to see this representation. And as you said, I mean, there's so many, it's going to inspire so many more people, and all it can do is benefit actors, directors, fans. Like there's nothing negative that can come out of this.
It's awesome. It really is.
Yeah. And as you've touched on, something that else is a huge part of your career and something that I followed simply because I watched you in Slasher was Skymed. So the medical drama, you play Lexi. So we've had one season so far. And
Mhm.
as I said, I simply followed that show. I was always interested, right? I love the concept of it, that it's
Yes.
like air ambulance, right? So I thought like for over here in the UK, we don't really get that kind of medical drama. But
Hmm.
so that is one of the first. I could be wrong, but I'm sure that's one of the first.
Yeah.
And I have become so hooked on that show. What is it for you to play a character like Lexi?
It's an honor. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Um, I feel so connected to Lexi in terms of the fact that there's so much responsibility that she holds. Like, I'm the eldest of four. I'm such a high achiever. Like, I set the bar high so that my siblings would, see a positive example, be a good role model for them, and make my mom proud, make my ancestors proud. Like, all the sacrifices that they've made for me to be here, even sitting here right now in this moment and talking with you, right? I'm grateful, for everyone who's come before me. So I have that soul connection with Lexi, where she's the older sibling. She is opening doors, and she's setting, a standard. She's setting the bar high, not only for herself, but, for her family, for her sister, for her parents who were pilots. So her dad was a pilot. So it's like, okay, she's a female, she's a Black pilot. Like, she's working her way up. It takes hours of dedication and work. And I feel like I'm equally as career driven, right?
That's
Um,
awesome.
very, very determined, a lot of integrity, a lot of heart. I am Lexi. Lexi is me, you know? So I have so much
Yeah,
fun as Lexi. And I will say, season one was tough because there was a lot of responsibility. There was, you know, she had to make some tough choices, and it could be stressful when you're balancing, you're juggling so much, right? You don't want anything to
yeah,
fall, but I think I think that, you know, with season two around the corner, it's time for Lexi to just cruise, you know. It's time for her to just breathe, relax, and let's enjoy her journey now, because she's fought so hard, she's worked so hard to get here.
mhm.
Now I want her to enjoy it.
No, that's absolutely, you know, and like I said, I think I definitely remember the early part of the season where she was so desperate to get that seat, and you know, you could, as you said, you kind of put it perfectly. You could literally see the desire to get there, and she was prepared to sacrifice and do anything to get on that
Anything.
seat.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's fantastic.
But she has, but
Um,
at the same time, what I love is that she's also willing to risk it if it's the right thing. She has that
yeah,
much integrity, you know,
yeah,
and that was a
yeah,
word that echoed throughout the season. And it's true. If you're gonna do something, you do it right. No loopholes, no handouts, no, you know what I mean? You
yeah.
do it, you give it your all, give it 100, and then you sit back. Because if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. So
That's exactly
yeah.
it. So for yourself, whether it was maybe during an audition or whilst you're studying the script, did you have to learn a lot of plain terminology, and was it hard to learn a lot of that?
Well, interestingly enough, our showrunner, Julie, Julie Perkins, her brother-in-law and her sister, this show is based on them. They're medevacs.
Wow.
They are medevacs. They, um, I believe they might have even met in Thompson. Like, it's crazy that so much of
Wow.
it, Novak's character is based on her brother-in-law, and it might be I think it might be Natasha, who has a lot of similar traits as her sister, but not that romantic, you know, connection there.
Yeah.
But characters were definitely inspired by real life people. That's fabulous.
Wow.
I love that. Sorry, that's just I just want to share that little tidbit, right?
No, you have to for sure.
And so Jamie, her brother-in-law, he comes in and he, you know, we did like a flight class with him. We got to go into a plane and he would show us all of the buttons and stuff. So I was recording some stuff, taking some
Yeah.
pictures just to remember. Um, he was also so sweet enough to record certain videos. There's certain sequences for certain episodes that were very difficult, like say an emergency landing for, you know, and you would have to do like that and that and that. And it's very particular where each device is, where each flick is. So he was lovely enough to show us some of those. And I think though, we're a great cast. We have a natural love for flying because we take it all very seriously. Like, even, I know I might sound a little nerdy, but I'm interested in getting my pilot license. I'm very seriously, I'm serious about it now because I can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't turn it off. I said this once before in an interview, but we were landing. I was returning to Toronto from Montreal, and we were landing, and I could feel, I know now, okay, those are the landing gears. Okay, those are the flaps. He just put up the flaps. He's trying to slow us down. Okay. And I said to myself, I was like, he's going a little fast. No, he's going way too fast. He's going to have to abort this landing and try again. And lo and behold, we hit the ground, started thinking, and he had to take off again, come around and try it again. So I predicted it. So I was like, I'm a natural. I might as
Ah,
well,
the intuition, yeah.
you know what I mean? So I'm just telling myself, if it's something that is so, it's natural for me and it's innate, I actually enjoy it. Why not pursue it as like another hobby. And I've been making friends with pilots, different flyers.
Oh,
Every time I'm on a plane, I introduce myself to the pilots. I talk to them about the show. They let me take pictures in the cockpit. It's awesome. It's awesome. And because they can genuinely sense my love for aviation and what they do. Like I thank them for like, helping us land safely. And they're taken aback because of, wow, someone actually appreciates us. So I love it.
so you never know. So maybe people listening, there could be a day where Mercedes Morris is flying our plane to any destination.
I love it. I love it. In my mind, because I'm a manifester and I dream so big, one day I'll have like a private island and I'll have my private jet and I'll just be bored one minute. You know what? I'm gonna go take a little trip down to Bahamas or something and just fly myself. I love the idea of that freedom, that lifestyle. So help me manifest it. Believe that for
You
me.
have to manifest it. You have to. I'm a big fan of that too. I definitely think if you manifest something, like again, nothing negative can come out of it. It just gives you a nice perspective and goal in mind.
Yes, I think what you think about is what you bring about. So focus on good
100%.
thoughts, good energy, positive things. And when you think your dream is big, dream even bigger. I always tell people that. Dream even bigger because it's yours. What's meant for you will not pass you. The universe, God, energy, whatever it is that you believe in, it will reward you for your hard work, your belief, your faith, right? So just keep going, head up and keep going.
So we talked about a lot of diversity in Slasher season 3, and obviously
Mhm.
there is a lot of diversity still in Skymed as well. Do you feel that the diversity across the cast is a reason why the show and people have become more relatable to the characters and the show's grown as much as it has?
I think it definitely does play a role. I think it does, but I also think that our show is unique in the sense that our cast from day one, we all hit it off. It was we had the luxury of our residents all being in the same condo building. We were on some of us were like on different floors, but we all so it was just so playful and engaging, and we would have potlucks and barbecues on the rooftop, and we were just always together. So I think that natural connection and that chemistry really shines through as well. You feel the history between these actors. I don't know, I love it.
Mm.
So the diversity, hands down, because I think there's a little bit of something for everyone. The characters are all like very varied as well, so there's all, I think everyone watching will be able to see themselves in someone,
Yeah.
at least one character. For me personally, I see I see a little bit of myself in Bodhi.
Mhm.
He's a little flashy, but in deep down, very very sensitive as well. I see a lot of
Yeah.
myself, as I mentioned, in Lexi, um, and even I see sometimes a little bit of myself in Novak, where that protection. I do sometimes. It's a personal thing, but that, like I'm saying, everyone. I'm saying this as Mercedes Morris, the viewer, not the
Mhm.
actor. As
Yeah.
the viewer, I enjoy watching this show.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I enjoy it. My family, we sit down, we watch it. My mom, her favorite character is Chopper. I thought she was gonna say Lexi. I thought she was gonna say Lexi. She likes Lexi a lot, but her favorite character is Chopper. So yeah, it's a family affair. We have a lot of fun here. I'm like so grateful for the experience to be a part of it, and like the indigenous representation too. Like that's incredible. That's
Yeah.
something my family and I talked so much about, like even the subtitles. um when we saw there was like an episode with a young woman giving birth, so we see the traditions culturally, we see the different landscapes. We're seeing Canada in a new way. Much of the world is seeing Canada in a new light, right? Because
Oh,
of
100%.
where these things are situated. So it's awesome. I'm like,
Yeah.
again, just edging forward, opening up doors and providing that representation and that visibility.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. I think from people on the outside looking at it, especially right in the UK, You know, we have shows which is kind of based on Canada a lot of way, but this does show Canada in a completely new light. And it's really, really interesting, and it kind of makes me want to like do more research and
Yeah.
kind of like go like see these like beautiful, like the scenery as well is beautiful. It's unbelievable. I
Mhm.
never knew that
Mhm.
about Canada as well. So
Yeah,
it's
they're
amazing.
so lush. And but it's interesting that so much of it is kind of like unexplored or
Hmm.
not as accessible. So that is why we need the medevacs, because we can't get to some of these communities, um, by vehicle. Even
Right.
like I understand, let's think about this. I just want people to remember it's important that yes, we go out there and we rescue people, but a lot of these planes as well are delivering necessary supplies, food supplies. That is
Yeah.
the lifeline between, a lot of these communities and like the urban centers, I guess. But it's like it's important. So yeah, yeah.
You know, has there from your side, has there been any news regarding if there'll be a second season?
Wow, Google is saying some stuff.
I mean,
Google
there's
is
no
Google
way
has
they
mentioned
can't.
some stuff. So I don't know. I might listen to Google.
Ah, see, for me, how much, the show's really taken off worldwide, like not even just Canada and the US, like the US, but worldwide. Like they have, honestly, I think people will cause like a riot if they don't do a second season. So
Come
I can't
on.
wait for it.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're hearing good things. The networks have, shared a lot of
Hmm.
positive feedback with everyone. We're really proud of our work, and so we're excited for season 2. We're excited.
Absolutely.
I can't give away too much, but
Yeah.
things are looking good.
So I just have a couple more questions for you, if that's okay.
Of course.
Um, so these are kind of more for yourself personally. So in your life, whether it was maybe at the start of your career or maybe even now,
Mhm.
who or what inspires you?
That's an interesting question. I'm inspired. I'll split it in two ways. On a personal level, I'm inspired by my mom because of her resilience, and she's encouraged me to always go after my dreams. Like I wanted to go to my regular high school with like all my friends, my homeschool, and she's the one who encouraged me to go to an arts high school because she
Wow.
saw something special in me. And even though a lot of parents, a lot of immigrant parents, they have this expectation or this longing for their children to become doctors and lawyers and engineers because they want us not to struggle
Mhm.
like they
Yeah.
struggled, right? And totally makes sense. But my mom believed in me. And when I told her that I wanted to pursue this career fully and take it seriously and like going to university to pursue theater and drama studies, I saw her take this deep breath and she said to me, "You go and you do it and you give your all and you just promise mommy that you will never be a starving artist. You're a full artist." And I said, "I'm a full artist." And that's what I've been ever since. And I'm, like the fact that she could have that faith and that, love and support for me, I love that.
Mhm.
I'm inspired by that. And that's why I like motivating and encouraging others. I have my own hashtag motivation with Myrrh on Instagram because I love the idea of encouraging people to just shoot for the stars,
Yeah.
just dream big. Like if you say right now, like, I want to be an astronaut, I'm like, yes, you go to the moon. Yes, you do it. I believe in you, honey. Make sure you show me your space suit. Like I am going to encourage you. So that
Yeah.
would be the first part of my answer. Just I'm definitely inspired by my mom, her courageous support for others around her. And I'm inspired by there's a lot of artists that I really look up to, like Drake and Beyonce and Michael Jackson. And the reason I really connect to them is because they do everything. you know.
For sure.
I like, you know, Drake having his transition from acting into music. Beyonce, she does music, like, but she's an incredible dancer. She does acting as well. She has her own fashion line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, composer, like he makes a lot of these, writer, dancer, overall entertainer. Like, I love the idea of just this fully embodied, encompassed, just
Mhm.
artist, just this energy, this force field, you know. And so that's what I feel I am. That's what I believe, you know, is my destiny. So I'm inspired by them and the legacy that, you know, the doors they've opened, the legacies that they have, but I know I'm creating my own as well. So
There you go.
yeah.
No, and it's very true because there's so many people, even if whether they're super talented in one particular area, like people just cap themselves in just one thing, and yet there's a whole world, and nothing stops people from going for anything you want to go for.
Anything. I this is crazy, but I'm teaching myself how to DJ. I love fashion, right? So I'm starting a fashion line at the end of the year because currently I have a dress rental business. Like, who is to say I can't do it all? You know,
There you
I
go.
have my own music. I do plan, hopefully next month, in the next month or two, I'll release another single. I have one that I've been kind of like sitting on. It's my baby, and I just want to make sure that it's perfect because I know
Hmm.
the world is gonna love it, and it's a little bit different from my first three singles. It's a little less island and a little more soul, a little more on the jazz side, more of like a
Wow.
love ballad.
Hmm.
So maybe I'll give the world a little sample on Valentine's Day. You know, look out for that.
Ah, that's the
But
one.
definitely more music coming. You know, it's like I'm gonna do it all. I'm not gonna put myself in a box or just label myself as a triple threat because triple is only three, honey, and like I'm gonna run out of fingers. Sorry, Samuel. You should know by this interview now. I'm crazy. I have all this energy,
No,
all this
but this
life,
this is what
this
we love.
passion.
No, this is what we love. This is exactly what I love for people to get to see, right? So one of the things that I love doing about this, and I think this is going to be one of my favorites, is because I want people to watch or listen to this and be like motivated and be like inspired to be like, doesn't have to be acting, even if it's writing or music or I don't know,
Yeah,
you want to build a house, like just go and do it. Like nothing stops you from doing it.
nothing. I love it. Like, even the fact I'm like, Samuel's like, I want to do these interviews. I'm starting this page. I'm doing these interviews, and I'm reaching out to people who I'm genuinely interested in their work. And look, positive, right? You put
Right.
yourself out there, you have a good energy, you're professional, and good things happen. And I know I wish you and this program all the best because I know it's just going to keep growing and flowing. So that's what you do. You have a vision, you know, you set goals and you work hard.
Yeah, thank you very much. So one last thing, I would like to really sort of leave on good terms. If you could
Yeah.
give, I mean, we've already kind of generally covered it throughout the interview, but if you could, anyone watching or listening, if you could just give them one piece of advice, what would that be?
I almost want to sing it. If they count
Go for
you
it.
out, baby, keep counting. They can have their doubts, but you will move mountains, mountains. I said, mind over matter, that's without a doubt. When they say it's over, honey, figure it out. They can count you out, but baby, keep counting, counting. Keep counting. Have faith in yourself. Believe in yourself because your dreams, your destiny is yours. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the haters. They don't have the vision that you have. They don't have the willpower. They don't have the skills. They don't have the dream, the passion, the energy. They don't have that. So why are you going to listen to them? Focus on you. Do you. Believe in yourself. I believe in you and I love you. Love yourself.
That's fantastic. Mercedes, you have been an absolute honor and a pleasure to get to speak with you. You are one of the most incredibly inspiring people I think I've ever met. Um, And also, I also want to get people to follow your Instagram because that's another thing that really like is motivating and inspiring. So
Oh,
yeah, do you have any other social medias that you want us to plug or anything you want us to plug?
well, my username is at I am the number two fancy underscore because I'm too
Mm.
fancy, and so are you. Okay, I'm too fancy. Remember that. But you can also just look me up by my first and last name. It comes up. It's a
Mhm.
verified account. It's the same username on Twitter. I'm on Twitter sometimes. Hit me up if you guys are on Twitter. And lastly, I have a brand new, well, it's pretty new to me. TikTok account because I've only been like using it seriously in the last month or so.
Mhm.
And so that's been really fun. So be sure to follow me on TikTok so that I can go live and I can do all of these incredible, motivating videos live for you guys. It's awesome.
Uh,
And yeah, like just let's just connect. That's what life is about, connecting. So please connect with me on social media. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what shows you've been watching. Let me know where you've spotted me. I have a few projects coming out soon. So it's really exciting stuff. Make sure you stay tuned for that. All right. Love it.
Absolutely. So
Thank you
I'll
so
make
much.
sure that hey, listen, Mercedes, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come and speak with us. It has been such an honor to get to speak with you. And any of the links that Mercedes mentioned, I'll leave at the top of the description so they could just click the link and you could just go straight over there. It makes life a lot simpler. So
Love
we'll
it.
do that for you. Thank you so much, Mercedes. This was an absolute blast.
Blessings. Blessings to you. Thank you so much, Samuel. It's good. Like I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm able to manifest such wonderful things into my life because I just keep my vibes high, right? When you
Yeah.
vibrate highly, that frequency is just like it's undeniable and it just actually attracts goodness to you because you're a good person. So good attracts good,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of wish a lot of people had like somebody like you in their life, and that's what I really hope that people can watch this and kind of feel that, you know. That's what I'm really
Yeah. And
hoping.
that's
But
something I and that's why I literally had to turn it into like a hashtag because I wanted people to have a bit
yeah,
more access to it. Sometimes I was just doing them like randomly on my story, and they were
mm,
getting such great responses that I was like, wow, it seems like people could actually use more of this, you
they
know?
could,
So
they could.
I started making them a little bit more regularly, teaching people how to raise your vibrations, like drink more water, exercise,
Yeah,
spend time out in nature, things that are just going to be good for your spirit and your energy. Crystals, sage, meditation, praying, writing songs, dancing. What is going to raise your vibration and it's going to help bring joy into your life, right? So
yeah, absolutely. I hope you don't start feeling like too much pressure from like everyone with this expectations, right?
I
Bec-
know, I know. And I balance that too. Like I like the fact that like Lexi, she has this like genuine on like this honesty,
Mhm.
in her. And so I do, I'm very open about my emotions. Like when I'm feeling blue, when I'm feeling down,
Yeah,
and I can use uh, that motivation from someone else because so often do we pour into others, just because like I have a big bucket and I'm able to pour into so many, but all buckets have a bottom.
of
So
course. Yeah,
I have to be mindful of like refilling myself or having others around me that can pour into me sometimes too.
yeah, yeah.
So it's been nice. There's been a good it's been a journey. I think that that's what life is. You learn, right? You learn.
Hmm.
So I've been focusing on that, like something like vacation. I'm going on vacation soon just to
Oh,
recharge
awesome.
before
Yeah.
I go. I'll be doing some filming in the next few weeks. So just take care of yourselves. Love it. I love it. This is awesome. What a pleasure. Thank you
No,
so much for your interest. Like, I'm really grateful that you reached out, that you like genuinely, wanted to connect with me and these characters. Like, it means a lot. So
I
thank you.
I I absolutely had to. There's no way I was going to watch Slasher season 3 and think I'm not interviewing Mercedes. No chance.
Hello. Oh, wait. Okay. So let me ask you a question.
Oh, go for it.
What was your favorite death in Slasher 3?
Oh my God. You can't put me on the spot like this. This is like reverse psychology now. I don't like it. Um,
Mhm.
I I I really like with the biology teacher one because I think that's so creative, and I just think like to me like that's one of like the biggest fears people would have, and how creative they did that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's I would say for me that was my favorite one, and also the one that again which we spoke about before, the bathroom scene with the bully where her face was dipped in
With
acid.
the acid. Ooh.
Oh
Every time it came up,
no!
it was just
And then she was stuck up in the vent.
dripping, like, ugh,
Oh
right?
no, that's
Cassidy,
no
that's her name. Cassidy.
Cassidy. It was gonna come to one of us as soon as it did.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I really like that dissection one too, just because you're like, you're seeing everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I really commend Slasher for. That's why it has like award-winning special effects, because
Hmm.
a lot of the kills don't the camera doesn't have to go like that. It can
Yeah.
stay on it. You can see everything in detail, and that's what actually makes it even more like intense, right? Like
Right.
remember the axe, like the first kill off the top of the show, he was standing still and we saw that axe come in.
Yeah.
We didn't see the axe come in with a swing and things get shaky. You see
No.
everything, baby. So so that's what I really, really like about Slasher. And I was a Slasher fan before even joining
Wow.
season three.
Hmm.
I really I think I started on season two with the camp. Like,
Right. Right.
so yeah, I was a big fan of that. And I had worked
Yeah.
with Jim Watson in between my
Hmm.
first Netflix series. So, I was just watching to support a fellow coworker and then fell in love with the whole thing. So when I got the audition, I was like, fingers crossed I get it because I really like this show. And
Hey,
then
that's awesome.
yeah, really, I don't know, things just work out for me like that. I put out good energy and I get it back.
See, this is the thing. It's not. You can already tell with you. It's not a like chance that things just happen. It's you're putting yourself out there, and you're putting the energy out there, and only positive things happen. And I'm finding with these interviews that happens more and more and more. Like people just that go for something and they're hungry for something and they put good energy
Yes.
out there, they always get rewarded.
Yes, it's so true. And there's this thing
Super
on TikTok right
interesting.
now. It's a saying. It's like, I am so lucky everything works out for me.
Yeah.
Like, and you're supposed to just like, I am so lucky everything works out for me. Just go about your day just saying that, and you will see how many, just amazing opportunities just start landing in your lap because you simply believed. So
Right.
yeah, I'm telling you, there's the key is a lot of life is mental. You have to have the thoughts, think it, believe it, and then achieve it.
Yeah. Ah, that's awesome. Like I said, this is
We're
why I don't want to
gonna
lose.
listen. This is still recording, so we're gonna have to do a little like extended version. You
This
know,
is it. We could do like
that's what you do.
unedited releases, and we'll add these extra
Yes,
little bits in.
yes. Do a little. No, I'm telling you, this is some good stuff. Especially because
Yeah.
when I asked you the question, that was nice. You're like, oh, you put me on the spot. That was so cute. So make sure you add this in. List people, viewers, if you're listening, if you're watching, this is some quality content right here. Let me
This
let you go. And once more, let me share my gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for this chat. I had a lot of fun. My morning was off to like a bit of a slow start, but this just entirely energized me. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful remainder of your day. Thank you again, Samuel. Thank you, thank you, thank you.